Alright. Okay, we're picking up the last of the Comic Corner, where first part of the Comic Corner, I discussed Moon Knight. Moon Knight Fist of Kusasu Volume 1. Now I'm discussing a crossover trade. A very thin crossover trade, because this is a very quick crossover. This is Miles Morales' Deadpool Pools of Blood, which contains material from the Deadpool, the Miles Morales Annual, which leads this very story, along with Miles Morales, Volume 2, Issues 30, 31, and Deadpool, I think this is Volume 9, Issues 11 and 12. Yep, it's the two Deadpools versus Miles Morales. Yep, and this continues from other stuff happening in the Marvel Universe, like Miles get a brand new costume. He got that in a previous storyline. And this came right after basically off the second storyline by Cody Ziegler for this book. The other for Miles, where he had done other stuff. So, I think it was actually with Black Panther, I think it was, yes. So, yeah, I actually did see this trade at Barnes & Noble like about a month ago. And I went to go get because I already got the previous volume, Volume 2. This is technically like 2.5. I was going to get this the following week, and then was not there. It took a while for this one to come back in, and now it was back in, so I got it yesterday. So, Cody Ziegler is writing for everything in here. He does the prologue for the Miles Morales Annual, which is working on by Dave Bowden. We have, of course, the Deadpool issues with Andrea DeVito and Luca Di Zragia, who does the Miles Morales issues. Oh, I should point out, though, after this crossover wrapped up, Deadpool will manage to last for 3 more issues and have a mini-series called Deadpool's Wolverine. This, I think, was already a Deadpool Wolverine title. And then there was Undeadpool, and now we have the upcoming Deadpool Wade Wilson coming out this year. First up, basically, we have where the stuff with Taskmaster, and it's a brief, like, 1 page. And then we start with the crossover. With the Deadpool issue, we have where Deadpool's group is flat broke. So they're taking a task of taking a contract out. They basically took a contract to kill Spider-Man. But it's a Miles Morales Spider-Man. And he basically, his brother shoot him. And it's like, yeah, but what kind of deals with them? And then he shoots Miles, and he shoots Miles. Except this is not Miles. Nope. It may look like Miles' costume, but it's not Miles. You see, it's Shift. Yep, Deadpool shot Shift. Sal Alma created this guy here. So, yeah. So then, of course, he bandages his wound up, of course. And then here comes the real Miles, real Spider-Man. And you're probably thinking, like, okay, he's after Spider-Man, but doesn't it realize, though, this is not the same guy he teamed up with in that mini-series that was really good? Ongoing series, Spider-Man / Deadpool. It's like, and we have someone saying, what a deal. 2 Deadpools, the price of 1. And then you have Miles giving Deadpool a dropkick. Yep. Yeah. And I'm like, does Deadpool not know the fact this is not the same? Yep. And of course, Shift basically gets more bandaged up by Miles. And it's like, last time, of course, we have Miles fighting Deadpool. Yep. And then, of course, Miles brings out a energy sword. Yep. A power sword. This is a crossover's paying off. Yeah, the thing is, Ellie does not know anything. She's not a Force Breaker like her awesome dad is. But yeah, and of course, they duel. And there's stuff here with Genki. And then we have Ashanti show up here. Yes, Ashanti, the famous African god who basically all about spider powers. And then, of course, we lead into when he got shot, and then Deadpool gives Miles a knee to the face. Yes, a knee to the face. Daredevil kick, yeah. Yeah, and then, of course, he picks up his katana, and Miles breaks it. Swordy! Yes, the sword is named after one of the Golden Girls. Yes, according to Rob Liefeld, he named Deadpool swords after 2 characters from the Golden Girls. Because Deadpool watches a show about old ladies. Because he likes to for some reason. I'm not sure why. And, yeah. And then Miles pulls her into like some weird reality. And then, of course, basically... Ellie Wilson Kamiko. Yeah. I'll tell you about wearing a mask. His uncle is the Prowler. And then, of course, they meet up with Princess. Yep, Deadpool's other child. Which she's actually adopted. And then we deal with these other people like Midas. And, well, we still deal with Deadpool stuff. And like, ooh, think it's a Spider-Man? Nope, and then Princess proceeds to try to chop with Spider-Man. Miles fights her for a bit. Like, and then, of course, you have Ellie's like, I hate, we really do this, Princess, we need to get back dead. Princess, bad dog! What did you say? She's not wrong. Oh, by the way, also, because Miles basically can speak Spanish, Ellie can speak it too, no problem. And they speak to her briefly in Spanish this book. And fight these other people who apparently put hired Miles to kill him. Deadpool chops with this one guy's hand. And the 4 of them work together reluctantly. And then we deal with the Herald of Ares. You're like, what? Yes, the Arrow War Cry. The Herald of Ares. The God of War. Yep. And of course, they blast basically window out. And then you have, I don't know what Spider-Man's imaginary friends. Extra set piece. I'm gonna get gun guys so hard. Yep, and you have Ellie taking on the guy who got his arm chopped off. Shift takes on the lady. And Miles and Deadpool take on the other one. And of course, then Miles uses his Venom Blast to basically give her a nice big punch, causing blood to come her mouth. And then Shift turns into this and tries to spook Agent Goo. It's like, your powers not work. Shift been able to change bodies since day Shift was born. What are you? Spider-Man. You know, your Shift. It's kind of funny. The fact that you have, and of course, the 2 brothers, and of course you have Ellie and Shift basically kick the woman. And then of course, then we have this, for the love of power, love and fists on our side, nothing can stop Deadpool and Spider-Man. Except mandatory mandates. Dude, you are freaking weird. Yeah, okay, that's funny. I'm sure that's probably Cody Ziegler just poking the bear at some editorial. People at editorial are complete idiots. I should point out, though, that from what I've heard, not all editors are complete idiots. But the most notorious idiot of Marvel Comics, who is an editor, who is a notorious idiot, is Nick Lowe. Anybody can agree with that. He is a complete moron. The stuff I've heard about him, like, I'm surprised basically no one has told him this in person. Excuse me, Mr. Lowe, you are a complete moron thinking that you are being successful for Spider-Man. When a lot of the stuff that you put out during your era from Amazing Spider-Man has been god-awful. I mean, I think the only good the whole time you've been there for Amazing Spider-Man has been Nick Spencer's run. Which I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me on that. So, yeah. And then they shake on, of course, Deadpool does apologize for Shift for shooting him. Yeah, do have potential. And, of course, you have Miles and Ellie just touch fingers briefly. And then they go through a portal. And webs a year or two, and then of course they go off. And then Ares comes by. And then we see Thor. Yes, Thor. Because they're both gods. Of course, Shanti would know who Thor is. And they chat for a bit, talk about Spider-Man. And then Hercules shows up. Yes, the Prince of Power. And you're probably thinking, like, what the heck is he doing here? Answer, well, I highly doubt it's to set up something for Deadpool. It's more probably something for Miles. Because this was a very odd crossover. This crossover felt a bit unnecessary. I mean, who was calling for a crossover between Deadpool and Miles Morales Spider-Man? For one thing, it's not a terrible crossover. No, it's not. It's a bit weird. This one, yes. Yes, it is by far one of the. Now they say, two more service icons clash comic page. Well, here's the thing. About these two. Now, they say service icons. I think they're mistaking Miles for Peter. Yes, I had the suspicious feeling that they're thinking it's that they're mistaking Miles for Peter. It's just kind of weird, but that's basically how it is. It is now the whole thing Hercules and Thor. Yep, that's to set up the very next storyline. Yep. Oh, by the way, Warcry. Yeah, she's a original character. She's like a villain for this run. I thought it was kind of interesting the fact that she cleared herself be the Herald of Ares. Yeah, Ares does briefly appear in the book. But it's like right after this crossover, she was still continuing to appear in the book as a reoccurring villain. She's part of the whole God War storyline, which happens next. Oh my gosh, it looks like the book, let's see. Oh, the God War ended with this one? Oh, I thought the book ended. No. The book did not. Let's see, as far as I can tell, this book is not scheduled to end anytime soon. No. It's just that for some weird reason, there's nothing solicited after issue, what is this one? 42, which is also the same number the last volume ended at. Could it end that volume? I don't know. I have no earthly idea, but it's a good book. Give roughly a 9 out of 10. Yes. I still have to ask, who was calling for this crossover? Nobody. I mean, it's not like a public demanded crossover. It just happened because my only guess is the reason why this crossover happened because Cody Ziegler was writing both books. I guess Marvel wanted to cash in on doing another Spider-Man Deadpool team up, except that, well, I'm sure they probably want to do it Peter, but I'm guessing probably the writer of Amazing Spider-Man is like, no, not interested. And I guess Ziegler is like, or another option is that they probably did with Miles because he's writing both books, so it's very easy for him to work on both books really easily. It's a very quick crossover. It's only like 4 parts. I mean, in the case of both books, I'd say it advances more for Miles than it does for frickin' Deadpool. Yeah, that's the weird thing about this book, is that in the case of Deadpool, well, his book would end 3 issues later. And you're like, really? It ended? Yeah, it ended. At issue 15. Yeah. The book managed last 3 more issues. Now, why would it end 15? Well, I have heard. Now, the weird thing about Deadpool's volumes is that, and I'm guessing at this, that for the last several years, it seems like ever since Gary Duggan wrapped up his run for Deadpool, the book has just not lasted very long. I mentioned briefly to Rob Liefeld on his Whatnot streams, and he kind of blames on the writer. Whoever's writing the book is may not put on good product. Now, that's his opinion. And he has every right to state it because he created Deadpool. My opinion is, of the reason the book has not lasted very long, is either two options. Either one, that's how much you're contracted for, or two, Marvel's not pushing it. Yeah, and this book would end up having the same issues as Scotty Young's run. Yes, believe it or not, we have 2 volumes with the same exact amount of issues. Now, the previous volume, which was Alyssa Wong's run, was 10 issues. And the one before that, which was Kelly Thompson, that was also 10 issues. And then we have the amazing Scotty Young run, and that lasted for 15 issues. Yeah, and then for some reason so apparently that the book ended just so it could be launched as Absolute Carnage versus Deadpool, which by the way does not count for the numbering. No, not really. And then Deadpool got a new book afterwards. Carnage did not, obviously. So I'm thinking, like, really? So they ended the previous volume for Deadpool just to do that miniseries. Oh, by the way, the whole thing of being King of Staten Island, yeah, that was something that was never resolved. It's like, did he somehow lose the position? Not really, no. His last issue was a tie-in to King in Black. Yes. And then 2 years later, we had the Alyssa Wong run, which was, I actually like that book. And then we have this run, which just ended. Of course, what happened next after Deadpool Wolverine? Deadpool's and Wolverine. Yes. Because Marvel thought it got to cancel both Marvel and Deadpool. Because they wanted to push the Daddy Daughters book. We have Wolverine, his daughter, and Deadpool and his daughter team up for a miniseries. Now, I initially heard it was going to be ongoing. And then I saw, it was just a limited series. I'm like, okay, fine. Then why the heck would you cancel the frickin' Deadpool book to do that? Yes. That's honest to God a really good question. Now, Gary Duggan himself put out he had a fantastic time doing Deadpool. I think at the time when they launched this book, so after, let's see, was the core stuff before or after the Alyssa Wong stuff? Let's see. I'm looking right now. I think that the Alyssa Wong stuff was, let's see. Okay, that was Kelly Thompson's book. So, after Kelly Thompson's run wrapped up, Deadpool later popped up in Savage Avengers, appeared in X-Force. It's like he was appearing very sporadically. Yeah. I mean, his last issue was released in January 2021. So, kind of for... so, up until the launch of his newest volume, which came out 1 year and 10 months later, I'm guessing at this that they want to keep Deadpool around because people still love Deadpool. So his appearances were just sporadic. And then they gave their book in. It ended after only 10 issues. And then we have Deadpool Battered Blood, written by Rob Liefeld. And then he got this book, which he also had the Weapon X, the Weapon X miniseries, which it was ongoing and then was abruptly canceled. Of course, he still has another ongoing. Yes, Deadpool / Wolverine. Well, it was, and then Marvel canceled it after 10 issues. Why? No idea why. And I've read it. It is really good. And I'm kind of like, it's Ben Percy who does an amazing job with this book, and then for some weird reason, Marvel just axes the book. After 10 issues. And what has he done lately that's been released in continuity? Well, since Deadpool Wolverine ended, he just appears in a couple one-shots. One with Batman, which, that was interesting. What seemed interesting, though, because Grant Morrison, yes, he has done Batman before, but he's never in a Deadpool comic. Oh, no. John Constantine, Doctor Strange. And you have writers who never in the character before. In the case of Stacks and Skeets, this one is written by a guy who wrote both books, Tom Taylor. That was a good choice. Harley and Hulk, Marco and Tamakagi. New Friends of Places, that's Camilla and Static. Let's see, that's the last one. So, Harley, let's see, Harley. Oh yeah, it's Harley and Hulk. Marco Tamakagi is, I know Amanda Connor has done Harley. She's never done Hulk before. And Marco Tamakagi, well, she read the Hulk book before. That was She-Hulk. She never did the main Hulk book before. New Friends of Places is G. Will Wilson. Yeah. But if you're curious though, has she written Static before? No. G. Will Wilson's never written Static before. It makes sense for her to write Camilla's story because she created the character. I've heard the next big one is going to be Spider-Man Superman, which that should be interesting. Mm-hmm. So apparently the first team-up comic is what was Deadpool Wolverine, which, yes, did feature Wolverine team-up here. Which the opening story is done by Zeb Wells. He actually has done Deadpool before, not Batman. Nope. Gun and Sword. That is Wonder Woman and Steve Rogers, done by Chip Zdarsky. Cap, of course, would definitely do. Chip read his book afterwards. Wonder Woman, I don't think he's ever written Wonder Woman before, I can think of. No. Terry Dodson, yes, he has done Wonder Woman before. For Catch, that is Crypto and Jeff the Shark. Well, Jeff the Shark is one of Kelly Thompson's characters. She's never written Baz with Red and Green, which is Kevin Smith. Okay, that makes sense. For that written by Kevin Smith. Because he has written both comics. So, good on Marvel for choosing that one. Green Lantern. Rock Raccoon and... For the Green Lantern book. Green Lantern and Rocket. Well, Al Ewing, he has written Rocket, but has written a Green Lantern book. He currently writes Absolute Green Lantern, but not the main book. Showdown. Frank Miller. That's Wolverine and Batman. Yes, he has written both. Well, actually, for Wolverine, he has drawn him, but he's never written before. But he has worked on the character before. Enter Logo. That's Ryan North and Ryan Stegman. Original character. Oh, Logo is just an amalgamation of Looks like it's Lobo and Wolverine. Yeah. But in the case of this book, for this book in particular, it's good. Okay, so that's pretty much it. If you took a video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up we have is more of Certain Magical Index. Okay, next video. Bye.